Welcome back to Super Sentai Review episode 216. We are here reviewing episodes 22, 23 of the series, which is the King-Ohger arc. Pretty much is basically building anticipated for his debut. And also a movie. A movie known as Adventure in Heaven. Yes, that is the name of the movie. Adventure Heaven. Not sure why it's called Adventure Heaven, just... So, in these two episodes, we kind of pick up with the last episode where the King-Ohgers are taking on the champion from the Bug Empire. And they try beating him, and eventually goes giant size. He stays giant size for the rest of the episode, including even the following episode. They even try Extreme King-Ohger by trying to beat it. Doesn't work. So then Kyoto figures out, that the castle, the palace, which is now Gara's castle, has a secret. And so basically they talk to Kuru's sister, who is acting really weird over a casket supposedly containing Regulus's body. And she reveals to them that the castle is a robot. Now I'm like, that's standard Sentai. They love doing this. They love turning their base into an actual Megazord. Now, I'm guessing this is probably something that's very expensive. A lot of series tend to do this, where this palace had existed. The mecha itself, I'm looking at it right now, apparently only appeared twice. The entire series. Probably for good reason, because this is his palace. So yeah, because after this episode, it's not returning episode 41. And I'm sure probably also this thing is freaking huge. Now, unlike other Megazords, basically, which is also here at the Fortress, and apparently this has the highest, it's the biggest mecha in the whole history of Sentai, being 220 meters. Previous holder being Giga Scare Mode from Gingaman back in the 90s. Oh, this is interesting. So inside of the throne room is explorable in a fortnight as an island map. Ooh, I'm gonna say basically. I'm gonna say this from a friend of mine, basically, who loves playing Fortnite. Oh, he's gonna love this. Yeah. So then, of course, basically, so how to activate it. So they go to the center like, oh, okay, activate this is impossible because it has no power. So then their mechs basically just transfer power to it. It does build up, but the gears fall apart because it hasn't activated in 2,000 years. So Gara decides to do his evil king persona and kind of basically, give me some gears immediately. I need it. And it's like, you want to ask for help, right? Yeah. So they gather all the gears they can. I'm like, is this country covered in gears? So, and I managed to bring a lot of gears. And thanks to, of course, Jeremiah, he basically is using his webs with the gears in place. But there's one gear missing, the core. They need a very small gear. And just by sheer coincidence, a kid who is a friend of Gara's just happened to have a little sword with that gear in it. But the Prime Minister of the Bug Empire is like, nah, I'm going to try to kill the child. But looking at basically Dura, the basically Gira trainer, protects him. To protect the child, of course, he gets there. And of course, also he gets thing is flicked up. Bullock catches the thing and is used to basically turn the damn thing on, and it's huge. Oh my gosh, this thing is so tall. Like I mentioned, it's 220 meters. Like, damn. Like 220 meters. That's basically, let's see, how big is that? Let's see, how many feet is that? That is 721 feet and 9.417 inches. I'm like, wow, that's big. I have to do some research. 720 feet. So basically, it's as tall as a building in India. I'm like, that is interesting. So then, of course, it walks and it uses a bit. And how it's activated is interesting. First, they activate with gear, just the sword. It's the lance itself. Then he tries with the crown, shows electricity, and then he morphs into his golden mode. And apparently, like, he sits on a throne, and apparently he can use it. So he used it basically to destroy the champion with ease with the Herculean axe, and everybody cheers. Like, that's pretty much that. And I guess that right afterwards he has his coronation. But that's where the movie comes in. Yes, the movie takes place just before the coronation. We have all the kings with the thrones, and it's something like Yosemite's throne is basically a game chair. Yes, Hemo is basically a couch. Rita is basically an actual throne. Kabuto, he basically is like 4 pillows. So, then he's summoned away by a friend of his. Yes, seriously. He is summoned away by a friend of his named Davika, who does return after this. Apparently in the show's penultimate episode, so she will return. Oh, and her actress look I'm looking at basically I've never seen the movie. She look a bit older than her, and then of course basically Gira. Well, she is currently she probably is turning 31 this year. Oh, this is interesting. She is the Japanese sub actress for Ochaku from My Hero Academia. And Gabby from Attack on Titan. Interesting. Oh, she's also Fiona Nightfall from Spy X Family. Oh, and Gira himself. He's 4 years younger. Of course, that explains the whole older thing. So. Yeah. So, they're whisked away to the afterlife. Jerome basically follows them later. So, they're invited by the Founding King. Yes, who also returned to the series, too. And his name is Ronoli Husky, who was one of the original King-Ohgers from 2000 years prior to the series. And he's played by Shudo Nomura II. Well, so he is currently, let's see, I think he's probably 52 currently. So I think at the time of the year, he's probably just past the age of 50. So his whole thing is, aside from the fact he was the ancestor, it's like he has, now apparently he was first mentioned back in episode 21 of the series. I'm like, that's interesting. Yes, so he cares to take out other people. So his whole thing is he wants to take over the throne himself right now. So if Gary's about to take the throne, because that'd be a catastrophe. Interesting. So everybody else basically gets affected by the afterlife. Rita is affected by people she had executed a little bit. Yasha is not really affected at all. He has never experienced death. So he is completely unaffected. Hiromo, she basically sees her parents, except they tell her they want her to join them in death, and she's like, they would not say that at all. And so she immediately figures out the fact these are not actually her parents. But at least the actors from the show, which gotta praise the movie for that. And of course, also the other kings, their retainers, are using a holocaust thing to go in the afterlife, which is interesting because Dago doesn't go there for some reason. I would have thought he would have, given the fact he's also a retainer too, but nope, he doesn't go. I'm like, that's quite strange. So then, of course, the King-Ohgers basically just form up after basically... Oh, by the way, he basically sees his former ruler, the one who he actually overthrew in order to become the current ruler of his country. Which I found that to be interesting. I think this movie is her debut. And her name is Iroki. Yes. Well, she's an older actress. Yes. She was born in 1978. So I'm thinking she is 30, 40... I think she's like 42, but she looks really good for her age outside of the makeup. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's kind of quite interesting to basically see some of these characters return. But I thought she did a really good job here. At least they show what the woman... So apparently, he overthrew a woman because the reason why he overthrew her, it's explained because she hogged all the food and nearly caused people to starve. That's why basically that the current guy who's basically... That's why Karaguri... That's why he became hot. That's why he overthrew her, become the new lord of the land of Tofu. Surprisingly, we didn't see, of course, basically about Regulus. And by the way, he basically wants to sacrifice his childhood friend in order to come back to life. So the King-Ohgers team up on him, and they have this great fight sequence, and they defeat him. And he's left there. Davika has come with him so she can have her birthday cake. And everybody celebrates. Basically, he becomes king. It's a great ceremony. And then we have post-credit scene. We have the founding king fighting... Okay. The guy's name is Daga Dawarjin. He doesn't say his name, but that's who he is. Oh, by the way, this was interesting to mention. It is mentioned by him... by the founding king to Gara, that his brother is alive. I'm like, that is interesting, to say the least. Because that's probably something to explore in the main series itself. But great movie overall. And it's also the first movie I've seen for these movies they have for the Sentai, and there's no mech. I'm like, that's interesting. Like, I get the fact in the afterlife, I guess they have no need for Megazord fight. My guess is because the afterlife stuff is probably as expensive as it is. So they're like, yeah, probably don't need it. Presumably, anyways. But I get the movie ranking at basically I give it 10 out of 10. It was a really good movie. And this is now the most recent movie I've seen for Sentai. A movie that came out almost 2 years ago. And that's the most recent movie I've seen. That might change soon when I get a chance to see another movie after the next 3 episodes of King-Ohger. Yeah. And it relates to Deca Ranger. Yes, because I'm planning on watching, I'm going to do a review of it too, the 20th anniversary movie for Deca Ranger. That's going to be interesting to watch when I get a chance to watch it. Yeah. So yeah, that's particularly a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and do not hit that dislike button. Well, that's it for the evening, so I will see you all tomorrow for more Sentai. Okay, thanks to you. Bye.